Welcome to Navajo Sage Weaver Tarot's channel. Welcome, Scorpio. This is your reading today. I am going to do the reading for Scorpio. So if you have any placements of Scorpio, this reading may resonate with you. Remember, this is a general reading. This is not a personal reading. Also, I just want to let you know that anything, any information of the decks will be in the description box down below, all the timestamps, and I will shake the gourd and move any stagnation energy and then start your reading, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, here we go. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio, I am going to pull one card from the archetype. This deck here is for the current energy you are in, what you need to let go of, what spirit wants you to focus on, what your higher self wants, what message they want to give you, animal spirit, a crystal card, tea leaf card for for more messages and clarification. So let's get started with your reading, Scorpio. All right. Scorpio, spirits and guides, spirits and guides. Yeah. Spirits and guides. Can I get one card for Scorpio? Spirits and guides. Can I get one card for Scorpio, please? Can I get one card for Scorpio? Spirits and guides, one card. Spirits and guides, can I get one card for Scorpio? What do they need to focus on? What does Spirit need to tell him? What message does Spirit want to leave him or give him? What they need to focus on, spirits and guides. What does Scorpio need to focus on? Mm. Spirit and guides, what does their higher self need? What message does their higher self want to give Scorpio at this time? Spirits and guides. What animal full animal message? What animal spirit wants to come in for Scorpio? What animal spirit wants to come in for Scorpio? Spirit and guides, what crystal wants to come out for Scorpio? What crystal card wants to come out for Scorpio? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to leave for Scorpio? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to leave Scorpio? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to leave Scorpio? Spirits and guides, what other messages do you want to leave spirits and guides? What messages do you want to leave? Sorry. Messages do you want to leave Scorpio? Spirits and guides, what messages? Other messages do you want to leave Scorpio? What other message do you want to leave Scorpio? Spirit and guides. What other messages do you want to leave Scorpio? What other messages do you want to leave Scorpio at this time? What other messages? All right, Scorpio, let's get to your reading here. We have two archetypes um, that came out. One is the pioneer and the advocate. The pioneer, the light attribute is passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. And then the shadow attribute is compulsive need to keep moving on. Scorpio, then you have the advocate. The light attribute inspires you to put compassion in action, and uh, shadow attribute is embracing negative, negativity cause, or committing to cause for personal gain. Um, and then we have the uh, the king, the king of pentacles here. And the King of Pentacles energy is one who is disciplined, right? One who is protecting what is yours. You're an achiever here. Then right next to the the King of Pentacles is the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands energy is releasing, um, burning your demons, right? Um, making your own magic. So with the Knight or the King of Pentacles, somebody who's grounded, who's dependable, um, somebody who's not greedy, right? And not selfish. And with the Ten of Pentacles, this is like burdens, right? Um, the the Ten of Wands um, is also maybe needing to take a break, finally saying no to something, right? So whatever it is, it's connected to, you know, your heart chakra. If you can see here, you have your circle here. So whatever your heart chakra is fighting, fighting those inner demons that, they're talking about being protected by the eagle there, you know? And then what you need to let go of is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands energy is the frustration problem, problems ahead, delaying travels, you know. Also, the Eight of Wands, too, the energy, is complication, you know. So something, spirit wants you to let go of that thought of, you know, um, feeling like there's delays or frustration in your life, spirit, even though sometimes it may get to your heart, right? Um, and then what you need to focus on is the Two of Swords. And let me get back to the Eight of Wands, because sometimes it's, like here, like maybe, waiting or what's that? Difficult movement, right? Maybe you're struggling, right, to move. And then the Two of Swords here, um, some sort of uh, crossroads, right? The Two of Swords making a choice. Um, a choice that must be made, and you're very defensive about it. So you maybe, it's crossing the heart, and this energy here with the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles energy, the overall energy is maybe Spirit wants you to focus on your heart. Be more vulnerable, right? Because your higher self is saying the Two of Wands here, energy, and that's, you know, growing your power, right? Choosing a path, finally making that decision, whether it's with a partner of some sort or with your higher self, right? Your higher self is connecting with you, trying to tell you, be vulnerable, you know, let the choices, let your intuition, right? Let your higher self, once you allow that that energy to start moving instead of being in stagnation, right? Then you'll be able to make that choice. And then what animal spirit wants to come in is the dong, trust, grace, mystery, and humor. And I looked this up and because I wanted to know what the dong was, and they explain they're kind of like the cows of the sea of the ocean. I think they might be like either the Mediterraneans or something like that. But um, yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And then you have the white pelican energy here, erase, optimism, grace, cooperation. And then the crystal that wanted to come in for you is calcite, a honey mineral on a mission to truth and be wild and bumbling into super driven worker bees. Who needs it? Anyone with a job to do. The brilliant, the brilliant but lazy. Any Taurus. Where to put it? Instead of banging your forehead repeatedly on your desk, try gently kiss the honey calcite. Uh, they're in insist when to use it, when the barrier to abundance feels too big, too powerful through, when it's time to stop waiting your turn and stop waiting until tomorrow. Picture yourself triumph on the other side of whatever stands in your way and call on honey calcite to kick in the door. The quote here is break through your limits. So how honey calcite wanted to come in. So um and then we have extra messages from Spirit. Bell, this is an announcement. February, Bull, do not back down from your opponents, your opposition. Show strength and fortitude. Door op Opportunities are waiting for you. Dark man dealing or relations with a man with dark complexion or hair. Jug, uh, light-hearted, carefree time. Crown, honor, and respect will come to you. Lightning, control your anger or you will be sorry. Moon, change in your life. Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. Pin, new job career. Axe, force working against you. Dragon, beware of self-delusion. Mice, discord among friends or family. Broken ring, uh, parting of ways in either romance and business. A feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. So, Scorpio, I am going to pull a couple clarification card of why the Eight of Wands is here. And it's just to clarify why the Eight of Wands is here, why you have to let this go, why Spirit wants you to focus on it. And it's just to dig deeper of maybe why the Eight of Wands is here. Sometimes, you know, digging deeper is nice, knowing why, you know, what's the hidden truth, right? Mm. So what it looks here is this looks like your heart. And the Nine of Pentacles um, is um, envy, right? Some sort of setback, workaholic, jealousy. And so maybe you've dealt with that in the past, right? Being somewhat of like a pioneer, an advocate, you know. Um, so being an advocate, right, inspire you to put compassion into action. So maybe something in your past really hurt your heart, right? And so that's why you had to focus on it, you know, open it. And with the Nine of Pentacles here, you know, the lack of security, you know, the loss of some sort of income and, you know, um, some sort of where you call home within yourself, right? And then you have the Three of Pentacles here. And the Three of Pentacles, you know, is rush work, impatient, you know, skills are not, you don't have the right skills just yet, right? And then the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is, you know, those secrets, you know, reveal, um, you know, some sort of thievery, right? Um, maybe dealing with, or maybe this is you. Um, the Seven of Swords too can also bring in um, being caught, right? Uh, trying to find ways, you know. So maybe when the the Nine of Pentacles. So maybe at some point you were not independent, right? You were dependent. And had lack of security, right? Loss of, you know, money or foundation, right? And then um, with the Three of Pentacles here, um, maybe something was rushed, or maybe you were trying to rush something. What is the Eight of Wands? Uh, Frustration, right? Because Spirit wants you to let go of being frustrated, right? Because maybe you were not allowing your heart or you're being vulnerable. And so it makes you, when you become frustrated, right, you start uh, becoming, you know, your skills, if, so it's like kind of dealing like with the trauma of some sort, right? Something happened in the past with you being vulnerable in some way. And so now, um, with this communication and letting go of frustration and stuff, you know, when you start letting that go, you know, sometimes it's hard to trust ourselves because then we start becoming sloppy somewhere, you know, something in our environment doesn't work well, whether it's having a routine, you know, once you get on that routine, you're kind of on it. But then something happens, right? Some sort of trauma, something, you know, working through a lesson, then things start becoming discombobulated. You stop, you stop doing things for yourself, you know, you start becoming sloppy in some way, you know, you start kind of giving up a little bit. So that's what it looks like here. You know, you kind of um, started making, you know, um, rushing your work, becoming impatient with yourself. And then with the Seven of sword tears, it's like your secrets started coming out, started showing on the outside. Sometimes we think we're sly people sometimes, and you know, we give up too soon, we become lazy, work with no award, with ourselves. So this is why Spirit wants you to let that go. He wants you to look at your worth. He wants you to open your heart. He wants you to be vulnerable. He wants you to be you. He doesn't want you to come off your task or your focus. Yeah, sometimes it can get scary, and we start making a mess. People start seeing it, and we don't even recognize we're making a mess. And Spirit's here following you, making sure you're okay, you know and the sometimes also, this energy here too is keeping outsiders, because you don't trust them, right? Because your higher self here with the Two of Wands, telling you that, once you let that go, then, your path is going to open up easy, if you start listening to yourself in that way. So, Scorpio, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to do your reading. And I just want to say, Hojona has clean, Hajona has clean, Hajona has clean, Hajona has clean. Asha.